Are you thinking about making a move to the Twin Cities and you want to know what some of the pros and cons are to living here? Well, stay tuned because I'm going to share some of the best things about the Twin Cities as well as some of the shitty things. I'll just go ahead and start with the shitty things and get those out of the way. It gets cold here in the winter. Winter is by far the worst part about living in the Twin Cities, in my opinion, but I also am not a huge fan of winter activities and I hate the cold. It's not just the cold that sucks during the winter, it's the black ice and slippery roads, the lack of sunlight, the constant snowstorms, and frozen car doors that make you late to work. The Twin Cities do a relatively good job of deploying plows, but sometimes there's just so much snow that there's just no way to keep up. If you're the type of person who likes cold weather, you might hate the humid summers more, but hopefully you can find some happiness doing water activities. Winter causes the next con, which would be the roads and the road construction. Water entering into the ground, expanding and contracting results in potholes, which suck, and because it's too cold in the winter to do any construction, all of it is done in the warmer months. This makes traffic really annoying, but to be fair, it's not as bad when compared to other major cities. Another thing that sucks about living in the Twin Cities is the mosquitoes. I realize that mosquitoes are not exclusive to Minnesota, but since we have so many lakes, it's the perfect breeding ground for them. I feel like I forgot what mosquitoes were until I moved back. They're obviously really annoying, but I mean, you can always use bug spray, and they have this spray that you can spray around your yard to reduce the amount of mosquitoes, or use a citronella candle. The city actually sprays in a lot of public places to make them as mosquito-free as possible, so some places really aren't bad at all. A quick con worth mentioning is that Minnesota is in the top 5 for highest income tax, and the specific tax rate will depend on which tax bracket you land in. If taxes are a reason you decide to or not to move somewhere, now you know. I wanted to mention this last con because I've heard it affects a lot of transplants. Some people find it hard to make friends here. Some transplants have said that it seems like people already have their established friend groups and it's difficult to become a part of them. I'm from here, so obviously my experience isn't relevant, but I have experienced this in other places I've lived or traveled to, and I know it's a really shitty feeling. If you experience this when you move here, don't give up too soon. It might just take a while for you to find the people that you click with. Now for the good things about the Twin Cities. The Twin Cities are known to have a strong economy. We're home to several Fortune 500 companies, and the unemployment rate is the lowest of any metropolitan area. We also have the 6th highest income per capita, and the cost of living is low in comparison. The next pro is 2-in-1 because the two things are connected. Minnesota has a lot of natural beauty, and we also have 4 seasons, and each of those is beautiful in its own way. I know I talk a lot of shit about winter, but it is really magical when the snow falls on the trees with all the holiday lights, and if you ever take a walk when it's snowing, it's really quiet and calm and peaceful. I enjoy it for like a week or two, and then I'm over it. Everything starts to come alive during the spring and people actually start going outside, and by summertime everything is lush and green. There's an abundance of trees in every neighborhood and suburb. It's truly unlike any city I've ever been to. And fall is so pretty when all the leaves start changing and then you go on a walk around a lake and then you see all the colors of nature. I love it. There's a lake in or close to every suburb and neighborhood in the Twin Cities. So if you like going on walks around a body of water, you're gonna have a ton of options. If you like biking more, there are tons of bike trails, and Minneapolis is one of the most bike-friendly cities in the country. We have a 5.5-mile trail called the Greenway, and it gives you direct access to different parks and restaurants and shops, or it's just nice to cruise around if you want. We have a 6,800-acre park system that's considered one of the best in the nation, and if you do come to visit, I'd highly recommend biking around the chain of lakes. It's really beautiful over there, and the houses are really cool to check out too. Another pro is the music and art scene here. Personally, I love electronic music, and there are plenty of local and well-known artists that come here, but it doesn't even matter what kind of music you like. You'll be able to find a show that fits your preferences relatively often. As for the art scene, we have tons of museums, festivals and fairs, and there are murals painted throughout the entire city. The Northeast Arts District itself just looks artsy, but there are tons of artist galleries and artist performance spaces spread throughout the neighborhood. There's an annual festival called Art-A-Whirl that happens all throughout the entire Northeast neighborhood, and it's the biggest open studio tour in the nation. There's food, live music, and workshops, and art from different photographers, wood carvers, jewelry makers, and painters. Definitely check it out if you get the chance. Another great thing that the Twin Cities has to offer are all their restaurants and breweries. There are 81 breweries in the Twin Cities, so you could go on an entire tour, and most of their patios are dog friendly. We have nationally acclaimed restaurants and award-winning chefs, and there's so much variety that no matter what your dietary preferences are, you're gonna have a ton of options. I've also noticed that a lot more places are offering non-alcoholic options, so you can still get a fancy cocktail with dinner or grab a drink at the bar. Although I listed this as a potential con, I would say another pro is the people. They're generally nice and friendly. Of course, there are assholes everywhere you go, but I found the vibe here to just be more relaxed and accepting than other cities I've lived in or visited. People will happily help you out of a snowbank or start up a conversation at the park. I truly think you just need to find the right friends that enjoy doing the same activities, and then you'll feel right at home. So those were the top pros and cons, but if you want to get an idea of what the cost of living is like here, watch this video next. If you are going to move here, reach out to me. I love helping people settle into this amazing place, and I would love to help you too. Thanks for watching.